Hey everybody, it is Carla with Carla's Clever Crafts. Today we're going to start off by working on a patriotic flip-flop summer beachy theme wreath, all combined into one. We're going to use these cute little flip-flops that came from the Dollar Tree. We're going to be using some red and blue metallic mesh. These are, you'll need 9 pieces of each. They're 10 inches wide and they're cut 16 to 17 inches long. We're also going to be using 4 different ribbons. All of the ribbons to start off with are going to be cut to 12 inches. You're going to need 6 12-inch pieces of the red. And then we will be using 6 12-inch pieces of the blue and white cabana stripe. And then we will be using 9 of the blue with the anchor to go with the anchor on our flip-flops. And then 9 of this really cute red, white, and blue flip-flop theme ribbon. It's got some sunglasses and lots of like sparkle and cute things on it. So again, it's 6 of the red, 6 of the blue and white, and 9 of the anchor and 9 of the flip-flop. They're all cut to 12 inches and they're dovetailed. I'll go over how to dovetail in just a minute. First, I'm going to show you how to wire the frame for this design. I've got one here where I've just left one section undone. This is the 14-inch wire frame from the Dollar Tree. We're going to wire it so that we have 12 pipe cleaners on the outside and 6 on the inside for a total of 18. And to do that, we're going to start in the middle of 2 crossbars on the inside 2 rings. And we're going to put the first pipe cleaner underneath and wrap it around those 2 inner wires as close to the middle of the 2 crossbars as we can. And just twist our knot over top of the wire that's on the inside. Then we're going to come between the one we just placed and this crossbar on the outside 2 rings and place one in the middle. So what you end up with is 3 pipe cleaners in each section, 1 on the inside 2 bars and 2 on the outside 2 bars. Come to the other side, do the same thing between this crossbar and this pipe cleaner on the outside 2 rings, as close as you can to the center of those 2. And then once you do each section with 3 pipe cleaners, you'll have the total of 18 and be ready to start putting in your mesh. Now this one is actually for another wreath I'm going to be doing. I wired the silver frame with red pipe cleaners for the design we're working on right now. I'm going to take a second and try to load my comments in. Just in case in the middle of the day on a Thursday anybody's tuning in and watching me. I'm behind on my projects. I've been sidetracked by creating Easter baskets, so I am now behind on my designing. Before I went live, my computer was working really fast, so I'm going to pray that it continues that. Oh, looks like it is, guys. Off to a good start. Okay, and so before I put the mesh in, I'm going to go ahead and go over dovetailing the ribbons. I kept these 3 for us to do that. So I usually do about 3 at a time, and I line up the ends together. Remember, all of the ribbon pieces are cut to 12 inches to start with. And then I just fold them in half long ways. Hi, Laura. I take my scissors and cut upward at an angle. And then that gives me that pretty V shape. So again, I go to the other end, make sure they're all lined up pretty even, as even as I can get them. Cut from the folded side to the wired side at an upward angle. And that's how you dovetail. Clean up my mess. Okay. All right, I'm going to lay the ribbons to the side. We'll go ahead and do the mesh. I'm going to start, we're going to alternate the two colors. So we're going to start with red. I'm going to go ahead and unroll a few of them here. This mesh came from craftoutlet.com. It's really good quality and very shiny and pretty. Okay, so to put our mesh in, we're going to do cruffles. We're going to lay our piece of mesh out in front of us. Start by rolling the first end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a clip or a clothespin or something to hold that curl. Turn it away from you. And do the same thing on the other end. 2, 3, 4. And now that we have curls on each end, we're just going to turn it upside down, put the curls face down, and then we're just going to ruffle it right up the middle. Small sections at a time. Just scrunch it towards you to pull it together. Pinch the two sides together and take off your clip so that it looks like that. Now we're going to just lay it in our first pipe cleaner. Doesn't matter where we start. Pull it real tight. We want this first layer mesh to be really sturdy. This is creating the base of our entire wreath. My wires keep getting caught in my ribbons. Let's see. There we go. That's better. Dang. Not really, they're falling over. Okay. Now. And then we're going to go to the blue because we're going to rotate these collars all the way around. Okay, we just roll the first end, turn the curl away, repeat on the other end, and then we're just going to scrunch it right down the middle. When we lay them in the pipe cleaners, we're starting off on this bottom row. We're going to put the finished edges to the outside and the inside. And by doing this, we'll end up with an overall design that is 24 inches wide. 24 to 25. Okay, so now red. 2, 3, 4. Place our clip. 2, 3, 4. Turn it over. Scrunch down the middle. Pinch your two sides together. And place it in your next pipe cleaner. At this point, we're only using the 12 pipe cleaners on the outside of the frame. We're not doing anything with the 6 on the inside yet. We'll get to those later. I'm going to make a bow today for this wreath. That's something I don't do all the time. But I think a bow will look cute with our flip-flops. Now we need red. I've been all over the place with my designs, you know, spring, Easter, summer, just jumping back and forth. I'm so excited to get the bees and the ladybugs done, but I swear I can't seem, I got all the materials now and I just can't seem to get the time to get it all laid out and ready to go. Of course, I have a few Easter wreaths that I've sold, so I'm going to need to redesign those as well. almost be done with St. Patty's Day. I made 2 yesterday and shipped them. It's getting pretty close now. I'm not sure that I'll sell any more of those at this point. Are you wanting to go see Mommy and Daddy? You want to tell everybody hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Up here.
Hi.
Okay, now what do you want?
A corner line is my first chicken.
Oh, we'll go in there and get it. Okay. Now we need some blue.
I have it.
Okay, take it in the kitchen and eat it. You know not to bring it out of the kitchen. It'll get everywhere. Thank you. He just couldn't resist the temptation to come see what Nana was doing. I made the mistake of telling him I'm going live, so you don't come back there. You watch TV till I'm done. And of course that, to him, his ears, meant, let's go in there and see what Nana's doing. Now we need a few more red. Okay, we're almost done with the base layer of our mesh. So on this base layer, we've used 6 of the red and we'll use 6 of the blue. And then we'll be ready to lay in our first layer of ribbon. Let go of that one. We have 2 more. Okay. This is our last piece on the bottom. Let go of that one. Remember on this bottom row that you're pulling really tight and twisting a couple times. And then once you put in your last piece of mesh, pull the piece to the right of it out over top so that it lays over like all the rest of them are. Okay, and then we're ready to start working with our ribbons. So we're going to need, for this bottom row, we're going to need 3 of the red, 3 of the blue and white striped, and then we will need 6 of the anchor and 6 of the flip-flop. Okay, we're going to start with the red and the blue and white striped. And I'm going to take the 3 red, line up the ends the best that I can, fold them in half, and I'm going to cut these into 6-inch pieces. So just right along the crease that we made, just cut them in half. And now we have 6 6-inch pieces. Do the same thing with the blue and white striped. So now we have 6 of these as well. And they're going to be flat on the edge that you just cut and dovetailed on the other end. We're going to start by laying those in first, and I'm going to rotate the pattern. I'm going to start with putting the red on the blue because I don't want to put red on red. I want to have a contrast. Okay, just fluff it out. Okay, now we're going to do the blue. To lay in these 6-inch pieces, I just lay it in front of me, scrunch on the flat edge, pinch the 2 sides together like that, and then just lay it in the pipe cleaner coming straight out the middle of the piece of mesh that is underneath of it. Pull tight because you do not want those ribbons to slide out. And then I just fluff out my tail. We're going to repeat that all the way around, rotating red and blue. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll answer the best I can. Even if you're watching later on replay on Facebook or on YouTube, I try to check my messages and respond like every day or every other day. Also open to feedback. I'm still fairly new at all of this with the technology and lives and videos. So any feedback is greatly appreciated.
Hi, Dan.
Hi again. What are you doing? You're supposed to be watching TV. Watch out my way so I can work. Now what? You forget? Back up, I'm out of my way. I gotta be able to move my arms and put the ribbons on, okay? Go in there and watch TV in Nana's room. This is another reason I'm slightly behind on designing, because I've had my grandkids a couple days, and really hard to do this stuff whenever you have little ones. Makes me wonder how the moms do this. When my kids were little, I worked outside of the house, so I didn't really do, I did a little bit of work at home, but not on a regular basis. Alright, so now this is what it looks like with our first layer of mesh and all of our 6-inch ribbons in. And now we're going to get ready and place our 12-inch ribbons. And I am going to start with the flip-flop, and I'm going to put the flip-flop over the top of the blue and white stripe, because this is primarily blue and white, so I don't want to put all the blue and white together. So I'm going to put it with the red and the flip-flop with the stripe. Just going to scrunch it right down the middle, V it back towards us to line up our ends, and place it straight down in the pipe cleaner so that it V's around the 6-inch piece that we're putting it in over top of. Give it 3 or 4 twists, and since we're done with this pipe cleaner now, we'll go ahead and cut it off. Push the end down inside and give it a good squeeze. Flip out our tails, and we're ready to do our next one. Lay it in front of us, scrunch down the middle, V it back towards us, place it over top of the red, same way so that it V's around the red ribbon. And then we'll repeat this all the way around, rotating between the flip-flop and the anchor ribbons. This is going to be a unique design and super cute, or at least I haven't seen a design like this yet. I actually bought these materials last summer and never did get it put together, so excited to get it together and see what my vision looks like. The little flip-flops say "Seize the Day" at the bottom of them, which I thought was really cute. I think they have a flip-flop ribbon similar to this and different colors too, so if you wanted to do a different color summer design that wasn't red, white, and blue, I think they do have that. Oh, I don't think I told you, but that these ribbons came from Craft Outlet. the mesh and the ribbons. Picking out the materials to design is the funnest part for me. So that's how I end up picking out materials to create a design. And then next year, before I get the design together, because I just want to keep buying new stuff and getting new designs instead of doing what I already have, which is a habit I really need to break. Four more. Then we'll be ready to start on our second layer. I am really liking this so far. I love these colors. The light blue and this ribbon really is a nice contrast. Let me know what you guys think of it. I also have a really cute bicycle sign that I bought last year, and I need to get it put together. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and try to do that one today. I'll probably hop back on here in a little while and do that one too. Still trying to decide if I want to do it on a larger base to make it like a 30-32 inch wreath, or if I want to keep it at this size, 24 or 25 inch. It's a pretty big sign, so I'm not sure. Okay, when you put your last piece of ribbon in, the same way you did with your mesh, your ribbon to the right, make sure you just pull it out and pull it over so it all lays consistently. Okay, and that's with our first row completely done. Okay, so now we're ready to start working on these 6 pipe cleaners on the inside. So just reach in between the mesh and pull them to the outside. Go ahead and do all 6 of them. And then we're going to come on top of those ribbons that we just did, and we're going to do another row of mesh. This time we're going to turn it a different way though. So we want to cover up all that pretty work we just did. And then we have some areas where you can still see down to the wire frame. I'm sure if you can see it there. So we're going to turn our mesh so that it takes care of any of those gaps and you can no longer see any of your frame. So I'm going to start with the red since it's on top here. We're going to do the same method. We're doing a cruffle. Just curl. I do 4 times. I flip it over 4 times. Turn it away from you. Same thing. Turn the curls face down and just scrunch small sections at a time right up the middle to get like a ruffled effect. Now this time we're going to place the finish edge to the right and to the left. So when we put it in our pipe cleaner, It'll be the opposite of the way we did on the bottom. And we're not going to pull real tight this time because we don't want to sink our top layer of mesh down to the base of our wreath and hide it in that design down there. We're building up our design. Our overall thickness will be about 5 to 6 inches. And since we're working on those 6 pipe cleaners from the inside, you will need 3 blue and 3 red of the mesh for this layer. Place it in the same way. Just looks kind of like you're placing little bows all the way around the design. I'll just line up the edges as I place them in. So it looks like that. Okay, so now we need red. This one will be available in my shop as a wreath kit too. Hopefully get that listed within the next couple days. So if you wanted to buy just the materials all in one place and make the wreath yourself, I will have this available as a wreath kit. You basically get everything that you see me using today that I'm placing on the wreath. Not the tools, of course, scissors, stuff like that, but all of the things that I'm adding to the wreath would be included in the kit. Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm in West Virginia. Thank you for watching me on your lunch break. We're doing a flip-flop. Hey Marley, thanks for watching. Okay, so these are the flip-flops that we're going to be using on our design today. And we'll get to those as soon as we get our last layer of ribbons on the top. Okay, so I am going to continue with the pattern we started on the bottom. I'm going to match the blue stripes with the flip-flop ribbon. And then the red with the anchors. And on my top layer, I do an X pattern. So on the bottom we made V's, and on the top we'll make X's. So I'm going to lay out my blue stripe and one of my flip-flops. Okay, and just put it in an X pattern. And we're going to just scrunch down the middle of those two and pinch the two sides together in our fingers just like that. And then we're going to place it, I'm going to do these blues in the red mesh because I don't want to put my red ribbon in the red mesh. I want to spread out those colors. And just twist it about 4 or 5 times. Flip off the extra pipe cleaner. And then push that down in and give it a squeeze so it holds your ribbons nice and tight. And then I like to just fluff up my ribbon tails as I go. I kind of arch them outward. curl them down around the edge of the mesh. Okay, and then we're ready to do our next one. So we'll do the same thing with the red. All of the ribbons I'm using today are 2.5 inch, except for the red, it is a 1.5 inch. Okay, so we're making the X again, scrunching down the middle, pinching the two sides together, and then we're going to place that in the blue. Snip it off again. Squeeze it and pinch it. Curl your ribbon tails so they lay the way you want them to. And we're ready to do the next one. We're just going to rotate, alternating the patterns all the way around those 6 sections that we've been working on. Oh, thank you. Okay. Scrunch it. Now I just place my X straight down in the pipe cleaner. And then if I want to adjust, like this one, I don't exactly like the way it's laying, so I just pull on each side of the ribbon to get it to where it lays straight, the way that I want it. Once you push the pipe cleaner down in there and squeeze it, you can really tug at these ribbons and not worry about them coming out. And that way you can get them to, you know, lay in your design the way you like. More. Really like this flip-flop ribbon. I'm not even sure what that material is, but it's very sturdy and lays very nicely. Okay. And this is our last one, and we'll add our flip-flops. Or zip ties, I mean. Haven't decided. Go ahead and turn the glue gun on just in case. Okay. Alright, I'm going to stand up so I can kind of see what they look like when I place them. I think I'm going to put my bow right there. Corner. So I'll probably do my flip-flops off to the side here a little bit, like this. And I think I'm going to zip tie them actually. And leave the glue on just in case I want to secure them with glue also. But I kind of want them floating on top. I don't want to push them down in, and with glue, I feel like I'm going to have to really push them down in the design. So I'm going to pull these ribbons out. I think I'll just clip to the mesh because it's a really sturdy mesh. So I'm just going to run around this strap here, clip to the mesh that's on the bottom row. Okay. Now let's pull this down. Oh yeah, that's pretty sturdy. Flip-flops are very lightweight, so I don't think we're going to need a lot to hold them on there. And I want this one kind of up a little, I think. So I'm going to go, oops. Go around the inside of this one, down through that mesh on the bottom row. Feed it back up through. I don't want to pull that too tight. So that's what our flip-flops look like so far. So we're getting ready to walk to the beach. Okay, and to make our bow, I'm going to use the Easy Bow Maker. I'm going to go ahead and shut this glue off because I don't think I'm going to need to add any glue. They move a little, but I think they're probably secure enough. If I change my mind, if I do decide to add some glue, what I would do, or if you want to add some glue, is I may put a little bit underneath the flip-flop here and just attach it to a piece of the ribbon to give it a little extra hold. I don't think that's going to be necessary, but I'll decide for sure when I hang it up and see what it looks like. And the same thing with this one, just kind of attach it and give it a little more stability. But I'm going to wait and see. I like to avoid gluing my attachments if I can. Alright, I'm going to lay this back here while we make the bow. And I am going to use Cabana, the blue. Okay. So I have a dark blue, like a navy blue, the red that we used on the wreath, and then I'm going to also use the cabana stripe and the flip-flop. So I'm going to start out with the cabana stripe. I'm going to dovetail my end before I start. Okay, and I'm going to make this tail a little bit long. It's probably about 10 inches. Then, wasn't there much to be, Bubba? I'm almost done, okay? Twist off plenty of ribbon here, and I'm going to make my first tail about first loop about 5.5 inches. I missed a step though. In the middle here, we need to twist the ribbon because one side of this cabana stripe is lighter than the other, so we want to keep the pretty side to the outside of our loops. So now I'm going to come back in here and do about 5.5. Twist it again so that the pretty side is on the outside of our other loop. Do another 5.5. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do 4 loops of this cabana stripe. going to do another about 5.5 inch, twist it in the middle. Five and a half inch on the other side. Then I'm going to cut the top tail a little bit shorter. I'm going to cut it at about 7 inches. Okay. Push this down in here, and I'm going to have that tail going upward. Okay. Next, I'm going to do our really pretty flip-flop ribbon. Start the same way. I'm going to dovetail the first end. Again, okay, I'm actually going to start it the other way because I want my tail to come down this way, the opposite of this one. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do another probably about 10-inch tail, same as the other side. We're going to twist it in the middle here to have our pretty side up so that when we do our loop, our pretty side is on the outside. And then this one, I'm going to come in. I did 5.5 inch, so I'm going to come into about 5 inch on this loop. So come, you know, about a 1/2 inch smaller. Twist it again. Same thing on the other side. And I'm only going to do 2 of these. So I'm going to pull the ribbon up here. I'm going to cut it up at about 7 inches too, same as the other top one. And pull it to the top. Okay. Move this glue out of my way. The pin is bent, so it's kind of hard to push it in there. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to use the, I think I'll come in with the red first. And this red and this blue are both 1.5 inch ribbons. The 2 that we put on the bottom are 2.5 inch. So now I'm going to start this one the same way I did the first one. Do another long tail. And since this ribbon is the same on both sides, I don't need to twist it in the middle. You can if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to. And I'm going to do my loops at about, what did I do? I did 5, so about 4.5 inches. Coming in another 1/2 inch on this layer. And then I'm going to cut this one off. I'm just going to use that ribbon to kind of measure, but I'm doing it about the same length, maybe just a hair shorter. Okay, again, I only did 2 of the red. And now I'm going to do 2 of the blue, and I'm going to do the opposite direction of the red that I just did. So I'm going to start it over on this side. Cut my dovetail. Ribbons are going to be the same length. I think I said 4.5 or 4. Shoot, can't see under there now. See, we did 5.5, 5, 4.5. Okay. Cut this one off the same way, pull it up to the opposite side of where you pulled the red. Okay. I'm going to use my scissors to hold that for me a minute. Okay, and then we need to grab a pipe cleaner. Or you can use a zip tie. Okay, I'm gonna hold this, make sure I hold on to this when I take the scissors off so it doesn't all come flying out. We don't wanna have to redo it. I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner and wrap it around. Try to get it evened out. And then I'm gonna reach underneath both sides of my ribbon bundle and slowly pull up, keeping a good grip on all of it so it doesn't slide, move around, or come out. And then pull the pipe cleaner to the back and twist it really tightly. I even pull these to the front and twist inward in towards the bow so that it gets a tighter twist. Okay, and now we can move this out of our way. And I'm going to go ahead and dovetail these ends that we hadn't done yet. Now I used the Easy Bow Maker to make this. It's just easier on my hands. But you don't have to have that. You can make these loops in your hand. Just holding the ribbons in your hand as well. I just make so much of this stuff that it was nice for me to have. My daughter actually gave it to me, and I use it all the time. Alrighty. Let's get our wreath back. Once you place our bow on here, I am just going to take the two pipe cleaner stems that I left coming out of the back of the bow, and I'm going to feed them right down in here, right around this little pocket that we have. I'm going to pull those around two of the bars of the wire frame on the bottom, and I'm going to twist them together. Well, eventually. Oh, I see. Got it going around 3 bars. Now I'm not going to pull this real tight because I don't want to sink my bow clear down in my design. So I'm just feeding it through and twisting the ends together. There won't be any extra to cut off. I'll just show you what I did, how long it is, the part that I twisted. So I just twisted this, oh, I'm way too close to the camera. This little section right here, this little piece, probably about 1 inch long. And I'm gonna just push after I get it twisted together real good, I'm gonna push that extra piece up inside the frame. And then we just need to fluff our bow so that it's laying the way we want it to. And fluff up our loops. And I kind of just separate them so that they're all showing. And then these tails up here on the top, I'm going to trim those down a little bit. I like the length of the bottom ones, but these two I think are a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim a little off. Super cute. Oh, well, that's not going to work with the flip-flop, so yes, I will be gluing this down when we get off camera. because it, as you can see, they all moved around and did not stay when I turned it over, so I don't want that. Okay, so there's our finished design. Try to fix this tail so it doesn't cover the flip-flop. There we go. So this is what it looks like. And like I said, I do recommend, and I am going to glue these down because just the ones that zip tie is not going to be sufficient. But there's our finished summer patriotic beachy theme wreath. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching me today. And I'll probably be back on here in a little while. So if you want to hop on with me again, please join me. Thank you very much.